Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset. Number 6 have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about. We have a theme for today. We have a theme for today on the FTN College Basketball Show. If you're as good as I think you are, you're going to get this game. That's the theme. Welcome back, folks. Thank you. Mike Randle here with you. As always, Saturday morning, coming off a nice 5-team parlay hit on Thursday. We're rocking and rolling. Ton of games today to get to. I ranked the parlay picks at the end in ascending order. So there's just so many games. I couldn't go game 28, 27, 26. That seems silly, but we ranked the parlay ones at the end, and I believe we have a 7-team parlay today, folks. So you're going to love it, as always. Let's get to the comments. We're going to get to the games. Wild Card Weekend is here. So much great stuff here at FTN Fantasy. You want to get involved, get in the Discord, join us, hit the button. You can go to the pricing page. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. We have incredible stuff ready for March Madness. NBA content is flowing. Wild card stuff all over the place. Our own Aaron Schatz here, one of the 50 voters for all the NFL awards. He's going to reveal. He revealed his ballot for All-Pro on Friday. So many great things coming up. You don't want to miss it. And as always, it's about the family. It's about the community. It's about getting the relationships here together with you. That's what we do. Here we go. Why is everyone on Texas Tech? It's a very good question, Preston. We're going to cover that game for you, buddy. Be him today. Let's have a day. Let's have a day. JR in the house. Let's go. Do you have a late pass? Very good, JR. Very good. I apologize. Was getting things set up. Thank you very much. Saturdays are for Mike Randle. Al in the house. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here. Let's get, the People's Parlay details. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. That was a nice win. Austin, let's go. We got good morning, my people. Hit the button. Appreciate it. SB Bets, you joined just for me. You are the man, SB Bets. I appreciate you are what we're going for, man, because we are going to get things right. We get close. 2 years ago, my first year with FTN, I told you about Florida Atlantic. They made the Final Four. Last year, I hammered Clemson all year, and they ended up beating St. Mary's and going on that run, and they made the Elite Eight. So we get, and the only way you're going to get that info is if you join FTN. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Ben wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Thank you, man, Ben. I love the glasses, too. Good morning, Creek Man. Let's go get it. We're going to, that's a lot. The ATM parlay. Yeah, Trevor, I appreciate it. Give me somebody plays, Mike. You got it. We'll go for it here. Wow, we got some new people here. I love it. Jono. Thank you, Jono, for getting in here. Appreciate it, brother. Or lady, whichever. Sorry. Morning, Captain Ian. Great to see you as always. Georgetown, the under. We can get to some of those as well. Brett, I appreciate you joining, man. You got to do it because we're in the live. We had live bets all over the place, Brett. You want to join because, the Kansas live line, Wisconsin. There's so many things going on. You want to get in here just for that insight. Of course, it really is a great investment. And Frank Brank's models are cooking. Frank Brank last year, our chief data guy, what he does is incredible, analytics and everything. He got some great futures. He runs those future models by the time we get to conference tournaments, and he hits some massive, massive long shots. So Frank is the man. I am simply being trained by Frank, who is the Obi-Wan Kenobi here at FTN Fantasy. So you got to join for sure. It's a great investment. Brett. Here we go. You guys are here for the picks. Enough of me talking. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so again, we'll save the confidence picks for the end. Let's go through them all. I understand that Duke is really good, and they are. And maybe I'm a little too low on Duke this year. It just seems like a lot of points. And you know me, I've been very hot with underdogs. That's the way things have gone. I like the upset. I like the little man. I made my wife watch all the Rocky movies before we got married, had to watch Hoosiers, all that stuff. I just see a lot of points, and I struggle. Now, in this matchup, the reason I like the points is only a half unit play is because Marcus Burton is back for Notre Dame. And I think a backcourt of Braden Shrewsbury and Marcus Burton can do some damage. Duke is wonderful. Duke is great. Their defense is incredible. This is a really tough spot. But whenever I see a lot of points against a team and a coach I don't like, I'm going to go for it. They have Miami coming up. There's no sandwich spot here. Very, very small investment. You can even pass on it if you want to, but I will take them there as well. Same with Auburn. Auburn burned us against Texas. They got up very early, and then they gave up a lot of points. This is a slow team in South Carolina. Again, this is a very small investment. These are the lower confidence plays here. You have no look ahead coming up for South Carolina. They're coming off of 2 losses to Mississippi State and Alabama. Those were tough games. Now they're playing Auburn at home. Auburn has Mississippi State coming up at home, which is a big battle. It's just a lot of points, 16.5. And they couldn't cover at Texas away. I think South Carolina and Texas are kind of the same. Texas is a little bit better, but it just seems like a lot of points for a slow team. Low investment on this one as well. You can skip it if you want. I'm starting with the least confidence working in the other way. Guys, I think Pittsburgh is good. I think Pittsburgh is good. They've struggled recently. They had the bad game against Duke, but Leggett is back, their point guard. They lost to Duke. I think this is a bounce back spot for them. They're very good under Jeff Capel. They shoot the three well. They don't turn the ball over. They're solid on defense. They make their free throws, and they're good at defending the three. And I understand Louisville's been great. Pat Kelsey's been wonderful. But isn't it about time for Louisville to slide? I mean, Louisville lost Keyshawn Pryor, the big man inside, versatile big man. Love what he does. I think he's at South Florida. And then Florida State, Eastern Kentucky, North Carolina, Virginia, Clemson. Very good. They're playing well. I get it. But are we going to win 6 in a row? I don't know about that. This is the away game. The Clemson game was home. That was a good battle. Pittsburgh has been really good at home. They've been blowing people out. This line's a little low. I know Louisville's hot. When Louisville gets hot, people are going to tail them. I like Pittsburgh here. Almost put in the parlay. I like Pittsburgh laying the 3.5 against Louisville. I don't think Louisville's going on the run and beating Pittsburgh. I really don't. I don't think they're at that level yet. They're good. They've gotten better. Chucky Herbert, Terrence Edwards, Rain Smith. I got it. It's time for Rain Smith to get locked up here on defense. Okay, enough of that. So Pittsburgh, little low, bounce back, get it right. Tough at home. Pittsburgh minus 3.5. This is a bet on King Rice as a coach. This is one of the historic bets that I have. Monmouth does not look good. They are 3-13. They have lost 3 of their last 4. All of that is true. Now here comes Charleston. I kind of think King Rice does a good job in these spots. And they're struggling. They're good from 3-point range. They're not good inside the arc. Their defense isn't great. But this is not your same Charleston team from the past. They've won 5 straight games. Everyone's going to back them. They're 3-0 in the conference. They're going to Monmouth. Monmouth has pulled off some nice upsets along the way under King Rice. And Monmouth at home, call it Jersey bias, whatever you want, usually is tough. So again, lower confidence play here. Monmouth +6 against Charleston. I don't think Charleston blows anybody out here on the road. They have to shoot well. They're not great on the boards. And King Rice is a really good coach. And what I have learned is that the really good coaches are starting to show up right now and make a difference in the cold in January. Clemson's good. You know, I'm not good with Florida State. I've always struggled with Florida State with Leonard Hamilton because he has great athletes and they tend to play up to the competition. But I like Clemson in this spot. Clemson has a veteran team, is returning a ton of players. One of the teams here this year that returned one of the top percentage of players from last year. They have almost 50% minutes continuity, which in the time of the transfer is actually nuts. They're coming off the loss to Louisville. I think you get a prime effort here from them at home. Georgia Tech away on the road, so there's no look ahead. I think they're ticked off. And they make their free throws. They're top 20 in the country making the free throws. They're good at shooting threes. They're great at forcing turnovers, especially at home. I think they get to Florida State here. Florida State coming off of 2 straight wins, but it was Syracuse and Miami. Those aren't great teams. Now it's their second straight road game. They're not great. They play at a pace. They do turn you over, but Clemson's not going to turn the ball over against them. I like Clemson here, laying the big number. This is like a back and forth game. It's like a 2-point game at halftime, and Clemson goes on a run. I'll take Clemson -8 against Florida State. This one almost went in the parlay. Illinois is a buzzsaw. Brad Underwood is one of the best coaches in the country. Illinois is top 10 in KenPom. If you're not aware what they're doing, they're destroying people. They lost to Northwestern away in their first game back on December 6th. And since then, they hung 109 on Oregon away. Think about that. 109 away at Oregon. They beat Washington away by 4. A little bit of a letdown spot, but still. And then they came home against Penn State, who is better than USC, and dropped them by almost 40, 39-point win. They have some incredible players. KJ, Kasparis Giannakounis, he is a phenomenal freshman, just putting up points left and right. Great shooter, very Dirk Nowitzki-like, like 18, 16, 14, 21, 22, 24, 20. And at home, they are impossible to beat. Ivizovic, he's tremendous as well. The big man inside, 7'1". Kylan Boswell is a super solid player who came over from Arizona. He fits his team absolutely perfectly. I don't like USC here. And I think Illinois at home is tough. I think Illinois can win the Big Ten. This team is legit, and they are rolling. They have Indiana away coming up. That's not a huge game. It's not like they're going to Michigan State or something like that. That's 2 games from now. I know they have Michigan away at the end of the year, Purdue, things like that. Get out of here. I'll take this number. I think they destroyed Penn State. I don't think USC beats them. And I like Eric Musman. I think Muss does a good job. Muss first year at USC, 9-6, kind of up and down, disappointing against Indiana. They did lose to Michigan at home. They did lose to Indiana. Now it's Illinois. That's double Tough double back-to-back. We'll take Illinois minus 13.5. Almost put this one in the parlay. Half a unit here. It's an Ivy League rivalry. I can hear Dr. Tony laughing through the TV right now. It's a rivalry game. Brown usually plays them tough. Yale is really good, but this is an Ivy rivalry. Brown can get frisky. It's 10 points. Yale is awesome. They're absolutely awesome. But they lost away, Yale, to UTEP. Now they're home, but Brown usually plays them tough. Last year, they played each other. They beat Yale away by 3 at the end of the year. They played Yale at home and only lost by 10. That was a good Yale team that went to the tournament and pulled the upset over Auburn. It's just a rivalry game. That's what this is between these two. You don't want to touch it. I'm totally fine with it. But 10.5 jumped off the page. I looked at the numbers. Yale is really good, of course, at making threes. They're tremendous, but they're bad at defending the threes. Brown, on the other hand, is good at defending the threes. It just seemed like too high. You don't want to play it. I don't mind it. Yeah, San Diego State's good. He said Brian Dutcher has really taken this team, and they've grown a lot. They're very young, but they've grown. And they beat Boise State away, and they beat Air Force at home comfortably. They're playing really well right now. Now, I know they're going to the Pit in New Mexico. You know, it's a hot take. The Pit's a little overrated right now. You know, the Pit's not like playing in Duke and Cameron Indoor. Like people can win in the Pit. New Mexico State won in the Pit earlier this year. Last year, at the Pit, Boise State won at the Pit. Air Force won at the Pit. Let's take it easy with the Pit being a crazy home court advantage. It's solid. But I like San Diego State and their defense here. New Mexico State is terrible at defending the threes, and teams have not made free throws against them, only shooting 65%. That's top 10 in the country. That's a luck factor. That's what that is. San Diego State coming in, great on defense, great at defending the three. Brian Dutcher's done a tremendous job. They have won 6 of their last 7. San Diego State, with one of the greatest wins of the year, they ended up beating Houston on the neutral on Saturday, November 30th in Las Vegas. San Diego State, just a tremendous win. They're good. They're well coached. Relax with the Pit. San Diego State plus 4.5. Frank Brank's on this, and so am I. If Iowa State is as good as I think they are, they get this game. Texas Tech is rolling. Grant McCasland is a great coach. They play incredible defense. Kansas is on the horizon. Everything you look at this analytically, everything tells you to take Texas Tech. If Iowa State is as good as I think they are, and I think they are a national championship contender, they get this game. Colorado away, they win by 10. Baylor smoked them at home by 19. Utah, forget it. Altitude. That was home. Sorry. Utah coming in, blew them out there by 23. Texas Tech away. It's a tough matchup. Iowa State is good. Everyone is on Texas Tech in this game. Everyone. They won 2 straight games. They also lost at home to UCF. Okay. Texas Tech is playing well. Kansas is coming up. I'm still taking Iowa State. I'm staying loyal to my wingman. I think they're good. I'm taking them there. A couple others, and we'll get to the chat. I see the chat coming. Sorry, guys. And ladies. Gut feel, BYU bounce back. I called BYU soft when they won against Houston, and they were. I called them soft when they played Texas Tech, and they were at home. Now I think they bounced back a little bit. They're coached by Kevin Young, came over from the Phoenix Suns. He's got a great team, a great offense. They shoot the 3 well. They're great on the boards. They're very good on the boards, which is going to be tough against TCU. I don't trust TCU. I think they're a little bit down. They've been up and down this year. Lost to Santa Clara on a neutral. Lost to Colorado State on a neutral. Lost semi-home game to Vanderbilt. Lost to Arizona. Played well. I get it. They can really struggle on the offensive end, and they don't make their free throws. I think this is the bottom of the market for BYU, who's coming off of 2 tough losses against really physical teams. TCU is good at defending the 3. They're not a great, physical inside the arc defensive team. They're long. They force turnovers, but they're not at the same level as Houston and Texas Tech. Gut feel, BYU minus 1.5. I don't like Wichita State. Wichita State has disappointed me. They don't seem to be the same team that I thought they were. They've been very disappointing in the American. They played DePaul away. They lost by 19. They played Kansas City at home. They lost by 10. They played Temple away. They gave up 91 points to Temple. 91 points to Temple? Wichita State? Seriously? South Florida, who really is, by the way, God bless them with what went on prior to the season. They have really come on now. They've really gathered and played very well. but they were never competitive at home against South Florida. Never competitive. Now I'm supposed to lay 6 points on the road against Texas San Antonio. Austin Clunch, good coach. Team makes their free throws 81%. That's top 3 in the country. They don't miss free throws. They play at a good pace. They force turnovers. This is a money line play. For all you FTN Discord people who love the money line, I'm taking UTSA +6 there against Wichita State. Let's get to the comments, and we'll get back to the picks. Let's see what we got here. Guys, this is fantastic. You're rolling here. There were a ton of comments. I love this. Frank Bank, that's what he is. He is my hero. He is my teacher, Frank Bank. That's what he is. The Kansas City Cincy line count. Yeah, we'll get to that one, Trevor. I like Kansas. I do. We'll get to that. Ragazza in the house before we head to the gyms. Yeah, Gus, I have a game today too. My 4th grade son is playing today. We're going to try to teach him not to step back court, Robert. He stepped back court. A physical kid, likes to set screens. You can imagine, like father, like son. Not a good shooter, but just a great kid, super aggressive, good athlete. He's getting better by the day. So I'm excited to see his game today. 71 people at the like button. Yeah, hi, Roland, you're the best. 94. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. Yeah, Noah, since he can't score, Wes Miller's a good coach. He's going to get it right. Don't worry. You have a good coach there. Sustained success came from UNC Greensboro. But I do agree. I'm not sure about this one. Monmouth does play up to their competition, especially when they're underdog. Yeah, Brett, that team was great. The bench mob was fantastic with Monmouth. So disappointing. Yeah, I think Clemson bounces back here. They got some good players. They're solid. Remember, they had a good run last year. Brownmouth's good in this spot. It's a good bounce back spot. I appreciate it. Kaspar, I think he's a go. No, I think he's a go. If he's not a go, that's going to be a question. So you may want to hold off on that one until we know for sure. But I think he's playing. Trevor, I'm almost hesitant to take him either way, but I do think he's going to play. I have a feeling he's going to play. Let's see. They beat the crud out of him, Noah. I appreciate that. But USC is always good. I think they're good either way. That was a big win. We hit the one last night. We lost on my guy, Celta Miguel. We lost on him. He only had 11. I had over 11.5 plus 100. But big win last night. They rolled over that. It's funny. I had a parlay last night, Ben. My wife and I were watching. I had a big parlay going, and we weren't sure whether to cash out or not. It was like a discussion with my wife. We ended up cashing out. We did very well, but we would have hit the whole thing. And my wife was actually mad. It was very funny last night. Excited about that. Hitting all the money lines today, of course. Thank you very much. Yeah, that team was tremendous. Trevor, let's go. Go Tech. Oh, you go Tech. Which Tech you taking there, Trevor? I'm not sure. Appreciate it, Jono. Yeah, we welcome women, men, everybody. I got some great women people who are involved here with college basketball. Great women cappers. Yvette is one of them who's tremendous. We got some great people. One of them, Rachel, my good friend Rachel, I made at the Fantasy Football Expo, out now with football guys. So we got some great people. Just want to make sure we welcome men, women, everybody. Come on in. They did, Jason, show it, but at some point they're going to turn it around. They're not going to stay soft the whole year. Even Stan Johnson and Loyola Marymount got hot, right? That's my point. TCU money for Thunder. Okay. All right. I get it. I like it. Let's get back to the picks here. I'm sorry. We got a lot going on. Let's see. Here we go. Back to the picks. I think Providence is good. I think they turned a corner. They've been playing well, and I like what they beat Butler. They played St. Bonaventure tough and lost. They played St. John's tough and lost. Blown out by Marquette, played UConn away really tough and lost, and then they pounded Butler. I think they're headed on the right track now after hitting bottom of the barrel. They are 8-8 right now. They are 2-3. They're still alive. They're going to battle, get going here. They need to get healthy for sure, but Providence at home I think is a good spot. Seton Hall under Sheen Holloway just is struggling to score. They barely beat DePaul at home in overtime. They're just really bad on the offensive end. They're shooting 43% inside the arc, 64% from the free throw line. That is not a team I can back. Even though Holloway's a really good coach, I saw them against Rutgers. They're just struggling on offense too much, and Providence can get really hot at home. Very hard to win there. People think Oklahoma stinks. I don't think Oklahoma stinks. I'm going to fade Mike White, and Georgia's playing really well, and I give them a lot of credit, Georgia, because they're just at a really good pace. They're 13-2 right now. They are 1-1. They do have Tennessee coming up away. This is a bit of a look ahead, and I appreciate them. Asa Newell, the freshman, 6'11 freshman, is fantastic, in and out, shooting threes, playing really well. They got Cyril, the guy from Overtime Elite, the big man inside, 6'11", freshman, 260. He looks really good. Damari's good outside. I like Oklahoma here. I think Porter Moser is a good coach. They lost 2 straight games. They lost away at Alabama, which is tough, and they lost at home to Texas A&M. No Wade Taylor in that game by 2. I don't think the slide continues. I think they can beat Georgia here, especially with Georgia having Tennessee on the horizon. I'll take Oklahoma plus 6.5. You're going to give me Greg Kampe with points. I will take it every time. Don't look at their metrics because they're not very good. But Greg Kampe has this team competing, and he's just a pain to play against. He's been there for 40 years. They have lost 5 of their last 6. They played Wright State really tough, and they blew it. It was 3.5. They should have had that cover. They didn't. I'm going to stay with Greg Kampe. I don't give up on him. He's one of the best coaches in the country. They played a very slow pace. They come out and make some shots. They can be very hot early. Northern Kentucky doesn't defend the 3 well. Northern Kentucky doesn't score inside the arc. Northern Kentucky turns the ball over a ton. Northern Kentucky doesn't make their free throws. 4, wish it was 5. 4, I'll take it there. Mississippi State may be one of the best teams in the SEC that no one cares about whatsoever, because you're going to tell me about Auburn. You're going to tell me about Alabama. You're going to tell me about Florida. You're going to tell me about Tennessee. No one's going to talk about Mississippi State. But what Chris Jans has done with this team is he has won 8 straight games. He beat South Carolina and Vanderbilt back-to-back. He beat Vanderbilt on the road, which is not easy. They do have Auburn away coming up, but you can't overlook Kentucky. They're going to be ready for this game. They're great on defense. They're great at forcing turnovers. They do not turn the ball over. And what he has done is he's gotten the offense to match the defense. Last year, Mississippi State top 20 in defense, great at defending the 3. Chris Jans' teams always take the 3 away, which is going to hurt Kentucky today. But they struggled on offense. They were terrible at shooting threes. They were terrible at making free throws. This year, their free throws are better. They're over 70%. Their shooting is better, almost 34%, and they're still defending like crazy. I'm taking Mississippi State minus 5.5 here against Kentucky. Kentucky coming off. They beat Florida. They lost away at Georgia, and they have Texas A&M, Alabama coming up. A little bit of a slide for Kentucky. I think Mark Pope has done a good job. I think he's done a great job getting things together. I do think they're playing a little bit above their head, which is why I think they hit the Georgia slide there. Back-to-back road games. I like Mississippi State here in this matchup. Arizona's rolling. I don't want to get in front of a train. I don't want to get in front of a bus. Arizona's rolling, and they're playing really well. And what impressed me is this last game that they beat West Virginia. Jamison Hutchinson, friend of the show. Sorry, buddy. They beat West Virginia away by 19. They did so, and Caleb Love had 9 points. So Caleb Love has been the center of their offense. Likes to shoot threes, likes to get up and down the floor, shoots like 39% from the field. We know Caleb Love. But they did that with Caleb Love and Trey Townsend having 14 total points. Trey Townsend came over from Oakland. He was fantastic at the end of last year. KJ Lewis was on fire. Jaden Bradley is there. He's really good. This concerns me. I don't think you get 2 back-to-back bad games from Caleb Love and Trey Townsend, and that worries me against Johnny Dawkins and UCF. UCF, not good on offense. UCF, not good on rebounding. UCF did beat Colorado at home by 1, but we got the cover. UCF did not play well at Kansas, lost by 50. We got the cover. UCF did beat Texas Tech away. Nice win. That hurt us there. But we're going to push our luck here a little bit. I'm taking Arizona minus the big number. Richmond's hot. You're paying attention to Chris Mooney. Richmond was terrible at the beginning of the year. Richmond is hot now. Richmond, nobody likes them in the A-10, and their numbers aren't great. But look what they've done. They beat G-Dub at home. They beat UMass away. They played George Mason away. Not easy. Lost by 6. Close game there. Proximal rivalry. Now they have Rhode Island. Rhode Island can't score. Rhode Island is physical. They're made in the mold of Archie Miller. They battle. They hit you. Great. They can't score. They're going on the road here. Don't like it. Don't like Archie on the road in this spot. They lost at home to George Washington. They lost away at Duquesne. They went away to Brown and lost. So their only road games that they've played this year, they've only played 2. Away at Brown, lost in 2 overtimes. Away at Duquesne, lost. That's it. This is a rough spot. I think Richmond wins outright. I'll take the 3. Georgetown, good. Ed Cooley, good. I have told you about UConn. Where are all those people who are jumping in my mentions saying, oh, you're fading UConn, you're fading UConn? You're darn right I'm fading UConn. I faded UConn early. I got the Memphis, Colorado, Dayton trio right in a row. Then they bounced back. They did some nice things. The Xavier one, I think we got Xavier. That one went to overtime. But the Providence game at home, Providence covered there, and they lost to Villanova away. Carabin missed both free throws. but this team without Liam McNeely is not great. Now, what I will tell you is solo ball is the real deal. So there could be some props that I'm putting into the chat. So make sure you jump in the Discord here because I'm going to have some props later today. Solo ball's been on fire. Without McNeely in the line, with McNeely in the lineup, solo ball's been the real deal, but they're a little thin without him. Aiden Mahaney's been terrible. That was just not a good signing. 0 points. He had 15 against Providence, but he's very up and down. Look at Aiden Mahaney, the big recruit who's supposed to replace Cam Spencer. 0, 0, 2, 0, 7, 7, 15 against Providence, 0. I mean, so they're a little thin, and Georgetown's at home. And what Ed Cooley does, I don't think Ed Cooley's a Final Four coach, but Ed Cooley's very good at building up a program. They were tough against that Marquette team until the end. They lost by 8, and we got the cover, but it was close for a long time. They're home again. They beat Xavier at home. They're playing well. He's got a lot of mojo. He's got the bigs inside, great at defending inside the arc. I like Ed Cooley here getting 4.5. I think they went outright. Georgetown. I think UConn is ready for a little bit of a slide. Not that UConn's not going to be deadly when it gets to the Big East tournament, but UConn's not winning the Big East this year. I told you that. Team is winning the Big East is St. John's. We'll get to them in a little bit. Fine with Kansas here. Kansas on the road is a slight favorite, a slight underdog. Is always an automatic play for me with Bill Self. Yes, they have Iowa State coming up, but Kansas is not in the situation where they can look ahead for teams because they struggle a little bit because they lost to Creighton away. They lost to Missouri away. They lost at home to West Virginia. They can't just look ahead and bypass this game. I think they get it. It's a close game, but I don't trust Cincinnati's offense, and I do trust Bill Self. I think Hunter Dickinson has himself a day in this matchup. Tulane is playing really well. So is South Florida. I got to be careful with South Florida. I kept fading South Florida to start the year. They've burned me here, but Ron Hunter has got this team going very strong. They do have Florida Atlantic at home coming up, but they're coming off a loss. They're coming off a loss at UAB, so I think you get max effort here. They're good at defending the three. They don't turn the ball over. They're good inside the arc. They make their free throws 76%. South Florida's been hot. They've won 4 straight games, one of which was against a non-Division I opponent. They're playing well. Second straight away game. UAB coming up at home on the horizon. South Florida, great turnaround, and kudos to the head coach, Ben Fletcher, for taking over and getting this team and righting the ship that a lot of people were high on. I think this is a dead spot for them. I kind of think it's a letdown. I think it's a kickback. I'll take Tulane minus 3.5. Let's see here. I've been impressed with Bowling Green lately. I've been very impressed with Bowling Green. They've played well. They have the big man inside who steps out and shoots threes. Bowling Green beat Western Michigan. They played very well at home against Akron. Should have won that game. Akron is one of the class of the Mid-America Conference. They have Buffalo coming up, so this is a good spot for them. They are very good at making free throws, and teams have made 79% of their free throws against them. That's not going to happen with Ball State, who shoots 68%. Mike Lewis is there at Ball State. They're coming off a loss to Miami of Ohio. I know it's a bounce-back spot at home, but I like the points here with Bowling Green in somewhat of a rivalry game, so I will take them there. Let's get to the comments as well. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Comments, and then we'll get back. There's a couple more games left, and then I'll get to the Go Spiders. Hi, Roland. You're an alum. Yes, Mooney's turned it around. Mooney's a good coach. Had the heart issue last year. God bless him. He's turned it around. I appreciate it. Does this mean I'm a goat, Roy? Am I a goat or am I a sheep? I hope I'm a goat in that one. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, Richard. I'm sorry, man. You couldn't find me. I'm glad you're here. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. The parlay is actually 8 teams. I apologize, 8 teams. So we're getting to that in a minute. I got a couple more left. I'm going with Florida. You know, sometimes teams show off in a loss, and Florida really showed off in that loss to Kentucky. They should have been dead and buried, the one that they lost to Kentucky, but with a bounce back against Tennessee. They have Missouri coming up. That's not a look-ahead spot. That was a destruction. And now we're going against Cal. So you have a coach here in John Calipari going against a better X&O coach in Todd Golden. Florida can absolutely win the national title. They were in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP poll, right? They can absolutely win the title. I don't trust Cal here. They lost 2 straight to Tennessee and Mississippi. I know this is a rally spot. You know, Cal hasn't been great the last few years, and I think Florida's better. So I'm going to take Florida minus the 4.5. Here we go. It's time for the parlay. It's time for the people's parlay. That's why you're here. We have an 8-teamer. And if you're new to the show, last week we did a 10-teamer. We hit the first 7. Okay. So don't feel like you have to do all of these picks. Maybe you take 3, maybe you take 4, you take 5. I'm going in order. But last week, people hit it because they took the first 5, they took the first 6, and we have the parlay here. So let's check it out. Here we go. That's not one of them. Okay. Columbia, Dr. Tony, I'm very sorry. Columbia has been very impressive this year. They've really improved up in Jim Ingles. They run great offense. Pick and pop, 5 out. Post guy comes to the foul line. They do the scissor cut. They pick and pop. They hit threes. Very impressive. Had enough of that against Cornell. They're good, Columbia, and they're solid, and they're going to be a really deadly team. They're going to make the top 4 of the Ivy League in the tournament, and they're going to be really dangerous. They are. But Cornell is the class of the Ivy League, and Cornell is a team that beat Iona away by 16, that went to California, who's pretty decent, that ended up playing real well, shooting threes well. They're great. Their offense is elite. Cornell is what Columbia wants to be, but they're not there yet. 62% from inside the arc. Columbia can shoot well at home. Cornell is really well coached. Cornell gets this game. Columbia is going to be fired up. They'll have people there, but they start a run here after losing to Rutgers. They have Cornell, Yale, Princeton. Ouch. I'm taking Cornell plus the 1.5 on the road to Columbia. That is the least confident I am because Columbia is tough at home. I will take them in the parlay as well. Virginia Tech stinks. Virginia Tech stinks. So let me go back because somebody's going to come in here and get mad that I didn't say parlay. There it is. Okay, just to be clear, okay, it's a parlay pick. Cornell's the one. Virginia Tech stinks. They stink. They just don't have it. They don't have enough talent. California under Madsen is really good at home. And if you don't know, California has Andrei Stojakovic, Peja Stojakovic's son, who's been absolutely lights out the last few games. 23 points, 30 points. He likes to attack the basket. He's not a great 3 shooter, but he can make them, certainly. They played well against Virginia. I think they look good here. They have North Carolina away coming up, but they're home. This is a long way for Virginia Tech to travel. Virginia Tech played Stanford, lost by 11. Now they only have to lose by 7 to Cal. I'm taking Cal. I'm laying the points. I don't think Virginia Tech is very good. I appreciate Mike Young. I think he's a good coach, but they're terrible on defense. They're not great on offense. Their threes are okay, and they turn the ball over an absolute ton. Bad spot going with California, laying the 6.5. Scott Cross burned us. He got the win. He got down big against Texas State, which is his nemesis. Or they lost, actually. They lost that game. He got down big against Marshall and came all the way back. Then they lost to their nemesis, Texas State. That's right. I don't think they lose 2 games in a row. I don't think Scott Cross covers is going to let us down 2 games in a row. Arkansas State is really good. This makes me nervous, and they do turn the ball over a ton, and Arkansas State is good, but Arkansas State can struggle here. They've lost 2 straight games. This is their 3rd straight road game. This is a tough matchup, but I'm going with my guy, Scott Cross. He's been great against the spread. I mean, what is he, guys, like 10-3, maybe 10-4 right now against the spread? He's been tremendous. I don't think we are going to not cover 3 straight games with Scott Cross. He beat Marshall, but was 1.5, so we lost by the hook. They were dominating Texas State, and they lost the comeback. I'm going back to Scott Cross. It's only 6 because he has me shaking a little bit, but we're going there. If St. John's is as good as I think they are, they get this game. Look, Villanova, shout out to Kyle Neptune. They have it going here, and Kyle Dixon is the center. But, folks, St. John's is the real deal. I struggled against Xavier. I thought that was a bad spot for them. Shame on me for jumping off of them. I'm back on. I think St. John's is winning the Big East. I have told you that at the start of this season. Rick Pitino in his 2nd year. Azubi Ejiofor inside. They just need to make some shots. I think they will do that here in this matchup. This game's in MSG. That's, I think, an advantage for St. John's. I like them in this spot. They're coming off the win, Villanova over UConn, so it's a little bit of a letdown. St. John's coming off 2 straight wins. Butler and Xavier Way looked really impressive. They did lose to Creighton, so they can't stumble. They are 4-1 here in the Big East. Marquette is 5-0, so they have to stay perfect. They have Villanova and Connecticut tied with them, so St. John's can create some distance here. I think they get the job done here. I'm taking St. John's against Villanova. Good job, Villanova, riding the ship. Good job, Villanova, winning 8 of 9. Time for you to lose again, Villanova. Nice win over Connecticut. St. John's gets it here. Enough with Murray State. Murray State, Steve Prom has not been one of my favorites, and they're on a hot streak. They've been playing well, but newsflash, so is Valparaiso. Valparaiso has won 3 straight games under Roger Powell, done a very nice job. Beat Missouri State away. Beat Northern Iowa at home. Beat Indiana State at home in overtime. They're playing really well, so they're also on a hot streak. They make their free throws, and they don't turn the ball over. Murray State coming off a win over Northern Iowa, and Drake, 2 huge wins. This is a classic letdown spot. Valparaiso getting no respect in the market with 8. I will take Valparaiso +8 against Murray State. I think it's a very close game here. I don't trust Murray State at all. Enough with Indiana. They burned us in the neutral site. I think if that game's at Penn State last week, Penn State wins no problem. The Bigs did a nice job. I was going to run them off the court. I was going to hang a number on Indiana. This game's going to get out of control. They're going to push the pace. Big second half comeback for Iowa in a game they had to have against Nebraska. Good win at home. They hung 97. They hung 85 away against Wisconsin. They can put up points. Indiana does not have the backcourt to stay with Iowa. They just have the bigs. If this game's in Indiana, we can go differently. I don't think so. I like Iowa here in this spot at home against Indiana to push the pace. They're shooting 39% from three-point range. They're shooting better than that at home. They're great. They don't turn the ball over. They do force turnovers. Enough of Indiana. I think this is a very comfortable Iowa win. One of my favorite picks. It's a top 3 pick for me today. The Bonnies are mad. The Bonnies lost at St. Louis. They fought valiantly, but they struggled. And here comes LaSalle and Fran Dunphy. Oh, my goodness, dear Lord. I am taking the Bonnies in a massive win. This has 23-4 written all over it to start. The Bonnies are a legit contender to win the A-10. They are great on defense. They've assembled a great team of talent behind Woj being the GM now with the name, image, and likeness guy up there at his alma mater. Mark Schmidt is a fantastic coach. LaSalle is brutal. Dunphy is going the wrong way. The Bonnies are going to be ready for this matchup. They're going to be ticked off about their loss. LaSalle has lost 2 straight games to Dayton by 14. They lost at home to Loyola Chicago by 11. You don't think they're going to lose at St. Bonaventure by 13? The Bonnies want to win the conference. They're 2-1. That's a bad loss. They just have Richmond and Duquesne coming up. This is a get-right spot. This is 23-4 written all over it. The Bonnies minus 12.5. I think it opened at 10. Get out of here with that garbage. 12.5. That's number 2. Number 1, you got to read the tea leaves. Dustin Kearns is one of the best small school coaches in the country. App State has been lethal, and they've been really good at home, and they're back, folks. They're back, and they're playing well. After losing 4 straight games and falling to 6-7, 0-2, they beat Texas State at home, a good Texas State team that just beat Troy by 11, and then they beat Coastal Carolina by 23. Here comes James Madison, who I've been fading all year, who lost to Marshall, but they didn't lose 2 in a row. They beat Arkansas State before that, so they're not on a losing streak here. They now have App State, Marshall, and App State. That is rough. Second straight road game for them. App State is a different team now. They're scoring. They're great at home. They beat Auburn at home last year. Dustin Kearns is a great coach. Preston Spradlin's going to get it right. JMU's a wonderful program. They had a phenomenal year last year. But App State at home is just different. They're great at defending the 3. They're starting to make their free throws. They're starting to make their threes. They're getting hot. It's an absolute problem. Miles Tate has been doing real well for them. He struggled early in the year. He's gone 24 points, 10 points, 21, 20, 22, 17. In his last 4 games, Miles Tate for Appalachian State has made 18 of 41 threes. He was 4 of 8, 5 of 13, 5 of 11, 4 of 9. And against, the last 3 games, yes, that's him from the field. He's been fantastic from the field. From 3, 2 of 7, 4 of 6, 4 of 8. He's been on fire. App State minus 1.5 versus JMU for the parlay. So let's recap, folks, and then I'll get to the questions. The parlay is an 18 parlay. I'm going to put it in after this, so I'll get you the numbers. I think Cornell's better than Columbia. I think Columbia is really solid. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're ready to beat Cornell at home, and Cornell getting 1.5 is crazy. Virginia Tech stinks. Cal at home with Mark Madsen. Good defense, going to turn them over a lot. Stojakovic has been really hot. Scott Cross is looking at not covering 3 games in a row. I just think it's blasphemy for Scott Cross. They need this win. That was a bad loss to Texas State. They should have got it. I think they bounce back and get it here against Arkansas State, who struggles on offense. Villanova, great win over UConn. Letdown spot. St. John's is a better team. Kyle Neptune is not winning in Madison Square Garden. And if I can't see a way that the underdog can win, unless the spread is like 15 or 16 points, I'm going to lay the points. That's what I'm doing with St. John's. Give me some good shooting from Aaron Scott, and away we go. Steve Prom, 2 big wins in a row. Letdown spot here against Valparaiso, who also is getting hot, who also can make some shots. I think it's too many points. The fade of Mike Woodson. Let's do the wild thing. Tone Loke. We're fading him. I'm going with Iowa, laying all the points here against Indiana at home. They can score in bunches. Indiana does not have the backcourt to score that much. The Bonnies are ticked coming off a loss against St. Louis. I think they blow out LaSalle. Like I said, I think this is a blowout from the beginning. And App State lately. Don't look at them as a totality for the season. Lately, they've been playing a lot better. JMU used a little bit of a fade. Only lost 1 in a row, JMU. I think it's going to be 2 in a row today. I'm taking App State. Let's get to the questions. What do we got here? Let's see. We said that we got a couple more, and then we're done. I looked at him. I'm going to fade Bradley. I took it off the list. It is Illinois, Chicago. So it's not like it's a fantastic team. They're coming off the loss to Drake. It's only 2 points. That's why I took it off. I don't like Bradley, but I could see them squeaking this out today. No pick there. Belmont, I haven't gotten a read on yet. It's Indiana State away. I'll go Indiana State, but Indiana State is not your normal team because it's Matthew Graves now coaching the team. It's not Josh Schertz. So uncertainty there for both of them. Yeah, you could go with Vandy and a bounce back, Brett. I have no problem with that, with Vandy and a bounce back. They are away at Missouri, but Missouri can force a lot of turnovers. And I'm starting to wonder if Vandy is worse than their record was. They were 13-1. They were far exceeding expectations. But who they really beat? The Citadel, Virginia Tech, TCU, I guess, Austin Peay, New Orleans. I'm starting to wonder now they're getting into conference play if they're regressing a little bit. I'd like it at home. It's a bad loss to Mississippi State. They kind of were never in that game. It's a stay away from me. LaRon, I appreciate it, man. I have no feeling on this. Georgia Tech, I just don't have a feeling. I like Damon Stoudemire. They're very volatile for me. Volatile teams I don't want any part of. It's fair. SMU's been a little disappointing. They lost to Duke when Shire wasn't there. I get it. Yeah, I 3 in a row, high rolling would shake me. It would shake me 3 in a row. I think we get it here. Good call, Ben. JMU's on 5 in the row. Good call, Ben. I appreciate that. No Wade Taylor, Ian. That's the problem. Like Buzz Williams is a superior coach. He's one of the best in college basketball. But how many games can they keep winning without Wade Taylor? But it's Bama on the road. It's 2. Was it 10? I think it's like. Or what is it? What is the spread here? Yeah, Bama on the road. Let me pull it up. Sorry, let me pull this one up here. That's the issue. I don't know how to value the team without Wade Taylor. Let me pull it up and see what we got here. Alabama. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's 2.5. But, Alabama has those games. My problem, Ian, is Alabama has those games where they don't make the threes. If they don't make the threes, they almost also Rutgers. So, they can't lose. I just think there's better spots. That's all it is. Boss Bro, the ones on the parlay are. On the Tuesday, Thursday show, I put them in order, but we had 30 today. So I didn't go 30, 29, but the parlay ones are in order. I appreciate it. Roy, thank you, bro. Thank you for being here, Roy. We appreciate you. San Jose State, Jason, let me check it out, man, for you. San Jose State. Yeah. Air Force can be weird at home. I just think there's better spots. It's fine. It's weird at home. Hugh, appreciate you. Yeah, I took Pitt, Hugh. I'm taking Pitt. I appreciate it. I think Pitt bounces back. Louisville's done a nice job. Pat Kelsey's overcome the loss of Pryor. They're playing really well, but they're not playing so well they're going to win at Pitt. So if I don't think they can win, and I do not think Louisville can win at Pitt, I think Pitt's going to be really angry. They've been good at home. I'm not taking them to cover 3.5, so I'm taking Pittsburgh there. AJ likes Louisville. Good for you, AJ. Go for it. Maybe get you beat me. Come back. Tell me how bad it was. It's good. Took Pitt. Thank you, Hugh. Finally, Northern Iowa. Yeah, no, I'm disappointed with Northern Iowa. I liked them a lot, and they were scoring in bunches, and then they struggled. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, Northern Iowa, 1.5 at Illinois State. I like Northern Iowa, but not enough to make a pick. They've struggled recently, and they throw me off. That's the problem. I kind of have cooled on Northern Iowa till they get things going again. They have lost to Valparaiso. They lost to Murray State. It's another away game. It's not home. I get it. They were good at home, but they weren't. And they didn't cover against Belmont. No feeling there. I'm fine. Yeah, Kirk, first half. It's a good call. Kirk, I appreciate it. Davidson. Not a big Davidson guy. I saw them. I think they're a little soft. They run the out motion. They got to be able to score. Yeah, it's Fordham. Fordham stinks. Not a Fordham guy. I could get there with Davidson. What'd you get at 10, Jason? What'd you get that line at 10? It's 9. I could go to Davidson. I could. I'm not a Fordham guy. If you want to, I could sprinkle on that later. I may get in the Discord and get that one, Jason. Yeah. A rivalry game, Lomain. I took the points with Brown. Rivalry game. I like Yale, but it's 10. Small play, half unit, if that. If the game was at Brown, I'd love Brown. But Brown usually plays them tough. It's an Ivy League rivalry. I'm going there. You got 8.5, Jason? I'd grab it. That's fine. I'll take it there. Yeah, I did. I took Brown plus 10.5, but small play here. High rolling. Small play. I'm out of here, guys. You got the parlay, 45 minutes, wild card weekend. Enjoy it. Joy's here at FTN. You know the drill. All the stuff that we have for you. As always, I am here for you. We are nothing without you. Hit the like, subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell an enemy. Come back and tell me I'm terrible. Come back and tell me I helped you. Whatever you want to do. We love college basketball. That's what this is about. I am here for you. FTN Fantasy. We find you the edge. Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset.